Painting me looks like dangerous. Synopsis. Lyra Moore thought it would be easy to start over. She had a new school, a broken-down flat, and no one to answer. But being alone in a city that doesn't care is harder than she thought it would be. Lyra is quiet, cautious, and carrying the weight of old wounds. She just wants to blend in. Until she has to work on a school project with Austin Knight, the boy who is always in the shadows and the subject of whispered rumors. It's cold, angry, can't be touched. But there's more to him than just his sharp edges. Something raw, scary, and dangerously attractive. What starts out as an uneasy partnership turns into a slow-burning crash that brings back parts of Lyra she thought were gone forever. But someone else has seen her too. And unlike Austin, he doesn't want to protect anyone. Lyra is now stuck between a love that could save her and a threat that could break her. She has to decide how much of herself she wants to get back. And how far she's willing to go down. In a world full of cruel colors and broken hearts, there is only one truth: art can make you feel better. Love can leave scars. Some boys don't just paint, they also burn. Episode 1. Lyra has a hard time living in a city all by herself because she is a small-town girl who is very shy and quiet. Especially when her lack of experience gets her into trouble. Austin Knight is the school's biggest mystery. Nobody knows what makes him the way he is. Everyone knows to stay away from him. But when the shy girl catches his eye, no one knows what will happen next. And Lyra had never thought that the mysterious boy from school could save her. One thing is certain, though. Austin's dull life is about to get a lot more colorful. This is my second time in the city, and everything still feels strange. About a week ago was the first time. The city as a whole will take time to grow on me. The tall buildings, big roads with so many cars, and busy people and noise. But this time is different from the last. I won't go back. Lyra, you'll be okay. Be strong. I look out the window and see cars speeding by. My uncle owns the car I'm in. The boxes next to me, which are full of my things, will be my only friend for now. It's been 4 hours since I left my uncle's house, and my legs are already cramping. I wish we had taken a break in the middle. I let out a silent sigh. When I look outside, I can just barely remember the neighborhood. We are here. It's one of the city's saddest places. And to be honest, I don't like the place I'm going to live. The apartments look old and, well, sad. At that moment, it hits me that I'm going to live alone. Since I found out I could finally live alone, I've been so happy, but now I realize what it means. I'm going to be all by myself. It might not be that bad, who knows? My uncle puts the car in the garage. The flat that looked sad last time didn't look as sad. I open the door and get out. I can finally feel my legs again. I stretch my legs and move my toes. At last. My uncle and I each have a box. That's all I have, and I'm not complaining, I'm thankful for it. We walk in together, and if that wasn't already weird, the lift ride is. He doesn't look as cold and rude as he is because he has a bald head and a potbelly. We hardly talk after living with him for 10 years. It's been 10 years, and I'm still not used to how awkward it is. I don't think I will. Always. We haven't talked in the last 4 hours. Would this be what it's like to have a dad? I let out a sigh of relief when the lift door opens to my floor. We take the boxes to the door. Lyra, my uncle says in a rough voice, stay safe and don't do anything we wouldn't approve of. He gives me a credit card and the keys. My parents. Uncle leaves after a quick nod. There was no smile and no goodbye. I have to do everything myself, so I thought I'd get some help. I need to stop expecting things from other people. The door creaks as it opens. The blinds don't hang right and the floorboards have come off in some places, but other than that, the place isn't too bad. The couch isn't in great shape either. The place is in terrible shape. My eyes are starting to water. I've never been alone in my 17 years of life, and now I'm living in the worst flat ever. I blink the tears away. Not the right time to cry. I can do this. I make a mental list of what I need to do. All the dusting and moving things around. There are 2 bedrooms. I let the other one go and picked the bigger one. The rooms are big, and if they were in good shape, it would be a nice place to live. The place looks a lot better now, 2 hours later. I put on the only clothes I can wear, a pink top tucked into black high-waisted jeans. I put on my old trainers, grab my keys and the last thing my parents gave me, the credit card. A week ago, my uncle took me on a tour. The mall is an hour's walk from my flat, but the grocery store and my school are close by. I choose to take a cab. I have a lot of things to buy. I look at my list. Towels, toiletries, some school clothes, shoes, accessories, and other things you need every day. I'm going to feel bad about spending so much money. The idea of having to look for work makes my stomach turn. What have I gotten myself into? When we get there, I get out of the cab. I take a deep breath and try to get rid of all the bad thoughts before I start shopping. I can do this. It's already dark outside when I'm done. Because I have so many shopping bags in my hands, my arms hurt. I am very angry, to say the least. There are drops of sweat on my forehead. I mumble to myself, at least this is done, as I make myself walk. I tell myself that I'm almost home. Almost. My arms are so numb right now that I know they are going to hurt a lot tomorrow. I hum a song to myself as I walk home to take my mind off of how I feel. But I run into someone, and all the bags, including mine, fly away. I fall on my back. As I stand up, I groan in pain and brush the dust off my jeans. Oh no, did I run into a walking stick or something? I stop. A man. If I may add, it's a very scary one. He is a lot bigger than I am. And the fact that he's there is really scary, like he was the one who fell. Even though it's dark outside, I can feel his intense gaze on me. I just stand there looking stupid because that's who I am. What a wonderful day. I finally came to my senses and started picking up the bags. He just watches me pick up all my things. He should have just left if he wasn't going to help. I quickly picked everything up because I didn't like how he was looking at me. I don't know what to say, so I'm about to walk past him when I hear him speak. Sorry, he says, still staring at me with a deep, rich voice. I take a deep breath. It's okay, I say quickly as I leave. I hate how easily I get nervous. As I walk to my flat, I can feel his eyes burning holes in the back of my head. When I get home, I flop down on the couch. I smile when I get home. This is a lot better than living with my aunt and uncle. It's hard, but it's a lot better than it was before. But something is bothering me. I made it through today. I feel proud, and I smile to myself. I just hope school isn't too bad. I put the bags in my room. I wash up and put on my pajamas. I also cook a simple dinner for myself. My heart almost stops when I get back to my room and take off my new clothes. I look for it here and there, but I can't find it. Oh no. No, 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 no. I think I forgot my shopping bag on the pavement. I thought I had picked up everything when I ran into him. I guess I didn't. I let out a loud groan. It wasn't just any shopping bag, it was the one that had my new pants in it. My pants. That's great. I hope the guy didn't see it, that would be very embarrassing. And I really hope I don't run into him if he did look into it. I laugh at what I think. There's no way we'd run into each other in this huge city. I jump into bed and make myself comfortable. I don't need to worry about this. I welcome sleep when I close my eyes. As I walk through the hallway full of students, I can hear whispers. I can feel the anxiety settling in because I've never been a social person. A lot of them don't see me, but some do. I can even hear some of the whispers, which don't help my anxiety. Most of the comments are about how I look, and they are trying to judge me by how I look. Based on how I look. From what they can see in the 5 minutes they've been with me. I think to myself, well, that's going to be very accurate. As I walk, I look down and let my long hair cover my face. Nobody likes being judged. It's hard for me to find the reception. I asked some girls before, and they just looked at me with blank stares. I'm not going to ask anyone else. Before I know it, I run into someone and their papers go flying everywhere and land on the floor. Not again. I can see who I bumped into by rubbing the spot on my head where it got hit. I see a girl who is clearly upset kneeling in front of me, picking up the papers and putting them in order. I choose to help her, unlike the man from yesterday. I'm sorry, I say with a small smile of apology after I have gathered all the papers. No, no, it's fine, she says in a cheerful voice. Are you new? I haven't seen you around. She waits for an answer, and her look isn't judgmental. Yes, today is my first day, I say with a nervous smile as I play with my fingers. She's about my height, 5'4". Her pale face is framed by beautiful red hair that goes all the way down to her waist. She has on a white top and tan trousers that are too big. I'm Sky, nice to meet you, she squeals, and I can't help but smile at how happy she is. Do you need help? What's your name? I say, Lyra. She frowns at me. I say, my name. She whispers oh and smiles. Can you point me in the direction of the reception? Okay, let's go. Sky is nice, she helps me find the reception. With her red hair, green eyes, and small body, she looks really pretty. She also helps me find out what time my classes are and takes me to my first one. Sadly, we only have calculus and history together. Okay, I'll see you at lunch. Text me, she says. I mumble an okay, happy that I won't be alone. English literature is my first class. As I walk into the class, my anxiety grows as I see the students sitting there, all busy with their own things. There are almost enough people in the class. There are 2 seats next to each other. I can see an empty seat in the back of the room. I flop down in the chair and see a few people looking at me. And slowly, almost everyone is looking at me. The couple who were kissing have stopped and are now looking at me. I look down at my lap, hoping that everyone will stop looking at me. Is there something wrong with how I look? Is it because I'm new? I wore a white top, a black skirt, and knee-high boots. I let my blonde hair down and didn't wear much makeup, other than mascara and a light pinkish lipstick. I didn't know how much to wear. Does that make me look strange? I then see them looking at the guy next to me. I can't see the guy's face because he has his head down on the table and is facing the wall. It's very likely that he's sleeping. I ignore the eyes and wait for class to start, hoping he will stay asleep for the rest of the time. Should we tell her to sit somewhere else? I hear a girl say, and then someone else says, no, what's wrong with this chair? Is it the man? The class goes completely quiet when Mrs. Reeves, the teacher, walks in. She tells me to tell her about myself. Oh no, I completely forgot about that. Hi. I'm Lyra Moore, I say with a nervous smile and sit down. That was a little weird. Can the ground just open up and eat me? I hope I didn't sound as worried as I was. The class is very boring. I do my best to keep my eyes open. The man next to me is snoring softly, which doesn't help. His soft snores make me want to sleep too. Mrs. Reeves makes everyone groan when she says, "You are getting an assignment today." The class is almost over. My ears perk up. Please don't judge me, but I really like doing my homework. That's what we all really like to do, though. Making a decision. You and your partner will be writing a 1,000-word essay about anything related to art. The person sitting next to you will be your partner. The assignment is due next week, she says. Oh God, why did I sit next to this guy? I think about waking him up when everyone else leaves, not just because I need to talk to him about the assignment but also because class is over. I shake him. Go away, he says with a groan. His voice is very deep and sleepy. I shake him once more. I shake him and say, "Hey, the class is over." When he turns his head to the other side, my heart skips a beat. I think I know him. He's the guy I ran into yesterday. I take a shaky breath to calm down, shake him one last time, and then he finally opens his eyes. Just to shut them again. Ugh. I decide to do something because the class is almost empty, and a smile comes to my lips. Wake up. The class is over. I yell, and that's all it takes. I laugh so hard my stomach hurts when he almost falls out of his chair. I guess I shouldn't have done that. I can see his features clearly now that it's light outside. Jaws and cheekbones that are sharp, hair that is messy. He gives me a cold look that makes me stop laughing. His eyes are brown. I smile at him and mumble a quick sorry, getting ready to leave now that I've finally woken him up. As I walk outside to my next class, I can feel holes burning on my head that make me shiver. I'm pretty sure he doesn't remember me as the girl who ran into him yesterday. I stop in my tracks all of a sudden. Please tell me I didn't forget to tell him about the work. I groan. Next, I have history. I won't go back to tell him because I'm running out of time. Sky and I are in the same class, but I can't find her. I should have told her to wait for me. I try to find the history class by myself. After walking for a few minutes, I'm outside looking for Block B. I can see an old building. I don't think this is where my class is supposed to be. I see two boys when I look around. One of them is smoking. Is the little girl lost? He asks when he sees me looking completely lost. Why yet? Can you help me out? I ask them, hoping they will. I see them looking at each other for a while, and then they smirk. Why would they grin? He throws the cigarette on the ground and steps on it to put out the fire. Sure, follow me, the other one with the piercing says as he grabs my wrist and pulls me inside. I try to get my wrist out of his grip because I don't like being touched. I give up, his grip is too strong. But you don't even know what class I have, I say, which makes him walk faster and hold my wrist tighter. I can hear footsteps behind me, the other guy is following me. My blood runs cold. I try to grab my hand, but he holds my wrist so tightly that I know it will hurt tomorrow. They lead me to one of the rooms. I scream for help, and then I feel a sharp pain in my right cheek. He hit me. He has both of my wrists in his hands, and the other person just stares at me with cloudy eyes. I scream for help again, even though I know no one is there. What are they going to do? I shake in his grip, and another sting on my cheek makes my head whip to the side. Shut up, the other guy says with a sneer as he holds my jaw tight. I don't remember what happened next. I see someone coming in. Is he a friend of theirs? Or did he come to help me after he heard me scream? I can see black spots in my vision and the hold on me gets looser. My knees start to shake, and I close my eyes and welcome the dark. The last thing I see is dark brown, almost black, deadly eyes staring at mine. They look like people I know. I have heavy eyelids and am trying to open my eyes. I can't see clearly and I don't know what's going on or where I am. My wrists hurt and my cheek hurts. I see someone in front of me, and I realize I'm sitting against the wall. I try to figure out who it is. My heart rate goes up again. I look at the eyes. Brown. I now know who it is. Even though I know who it is, I still can't lower my heart rate. What if he is in charge of them? The guys. Everything is falling apart for me. I feel a shiver down my spine and try to breathe. I can't understand what he's trying to say because he's talking. He tries to touch my face, but I pull away. After a long time, I see him get up and move away from me. It definitely helps me relax a bit. I can finally breathe normally after a long time. I don't even know when I started crying. I can hear him say everything is okay and mumble something about not knowing how to make someone feel better. Comfort? Who are you guys? I can finally say it. My throat is dry. I'm not one of them, he says through clenched teeth, and his eyes go dark again. I stop looking at his eyes and pay attention to what's around me. I see the same guys on the floor again. I feel a wave of relief. Did you kill them? Should've, he says in a low voice. I can tell that I'm getting calmer. Thank you, I say with shaking lips as I look into his brown eyes. He says darkly, they'll wake up in a few hours, when he sees me looking at them. He sighs and runs his hands through his hair. Let's get you to the infirmary. I don't trust you, I say to him honestly. What got me here was trust. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I get it. Call your friends, then. I'm the worst, Sky says with a sniff. I roll my eyes. She's said it more than 20 times, and I'm not even kidding. It's not your fault, I say with a sigh. I should have just called you. No, I should have called you, she says with a groan. It's been about an hour since it happened, and I'm feeling much better now. We eat lunch in 20 minutes, and I'm already hungry. I feel better after drinking the fruit juice Sky gave me. We are sitting under a tree in the school field. By the way, who beat those jerks? Sky asks as she sits up straighter. I'll show you God, Sky cuts me off. She stares behind me with wide eyes. When I turn around, I see the brown-eyed man leaning against a tree with a cigarette in his hand and a piercing look on his face. I turn around. I shakily say, he's the one. No way, Sky yells in a whisper. What? I say, not understanding why she was so shocked. I didn't know he could do that. We don't know much about him. He doesn't have any friends and is always alone. When someone tries to talk to him or anything, he beats the living daylights out of them, and everyone knows not to deal with him. Not even the teachers. His dad has connections, so no one can do anything to him. We just act like he doesn't exist. I can't believe it. I remember yelling at him to wake up, but he didn't do anything to me except give me a cold look. He might have let it go because he was tired. I tell her, that's scary. She just shakes her head. Interesting. What's his name? Austin. Austin, I've been paired with him, I say. For my English class. Her eyes get as big as tennis balls. You what? I sat next to him, so what did you say? I sigh and look down at my hands. Why is it so hard to live? God, he's looking at you again, Sky whispers. I can see a glint in her eyes. He likes you, she says in a way that makes it clear. That makes sense now. I look at her without saying anything. My cheeks get a little warm, and I get a little flustered. Maybe he just wanted to help because he heard me scream for help, and maybe he let me sit next to him because he was asleep. Stop jumping to conclusions, Sky, I say with a sigh. She just smiles, and the light in her eyes is still there. The sound of the bell. Time for lunch, she screams. Let's go, she says as she stands up and takes my hand. I grab it and we leave. As we walk inside, I can still feel the same intense eyes on me. I get a strange feeling in my chest. I try to remember Jude, Kira, and Zeke's names. I don't feel comfortable with Sky's friends right now, but I think I'll get used to them over time. Kira has dark brown skin, beautiful black eyes, and long, dark hair that she wears in a ponytail. She doesn't seem interested in anything that's going on and is busy with her phone. Zeke has blue eyes and blonde hair. He is a little shorter than us, maybe 5'3", but he is very big. I don't like how he is looking at me, so I try to stay away from him as much as I can. Jude is tall and thin. His presence is comforting in a way that Zeke's isn't, and his look doesn't scare me. He is kind and funny, and he makes jokes from time to time. While we eat lunch, I can't help but think about everything that happened today. I can't wait to get home. I feel a wave of sadness. I tell them, I'm going to get some air, and then I stand up to leave. I'll be there, Sky says, her voice full of worry. No, it's fine. I'll be back in 10, I tell her. She thinks about it. She sighs and says, call me if something happens, after a while. I mumble okay and walk to the school field. I sit on the grass and pull my knees up to my chest. Everything that happened today is flashing in front of my eyes. I feel like I'm about to cry. If I said I didn't miss my old life, I would be lying. I didn't have a lot of freedom, but I did feel safe. At least I didn't feel alone. How's your wrist? I gasped and put my hand over my heart. My heart is about to jump out of my chest. I turn around and see Austin standing tall with his hand in his pocket and a blank look on his face. His dark eyes pierced my soul, making him look as scary and intimidating as ever. How's your wrist? I stand up and turn to face him, and my heart rate goes up a little. I never noticed that he is at least 8 inches taller than me. His hair and eyes are almost the same color. Brown chocolate that has melted. I lick my lips. I don't answer and make a fool of myself by stuttering, I just show him my wrist. His eyes move from my face to my wrist, and his face stays blank, but I can see that his jaw is tightening. There is a bruise that is now bluish-black. He doesn't say anything, he just looks at it and studies it without touching it. I choose to speak up. I let my wrist fall. Thank you, I say, and my voice sounds squeaky. I groan inside when I hear it. He looks back at my eyes and stays there. Thanks for helping me, I say. What makes his stares so strong? I stop looking at them and look at my feet. I mean before, I say again. Okay, that's enough. He gets you. My cheek is getting hot. He keeps looking at me, as if he is trying to find something. From a distance, his eyes are very intense, but up close, they are even more so. He doesn't say anything, he just nods slightly in response to my thanks. The bell rings, and I don't know what to say, so I smile tightly at him and then turn around and leave. In the most awkward way possible. Please kill me now. When I go back to the canteen, my cheeks are burning with shame. I see Sky and her friends, so I walk over to them. When they see me, her eyes brighten and a look of relief crosses her face. Are you feeling better? I shake my head. She smiles at me. Everyone thought painting nature sounded boring, and they all groaned when Mrs. Moreno said we had to paint something about nature. I didn't think painting nature was boring. I was never bored with painting. I loved painting, whether it was a basket of fruit, a person, or a leaf. but I never could get my feelings across in it. It's hard for me to choose between a forest and an ocean. I looked around and saw a lot of green, so I chose the ocean. I love paintings that are bright and make me happy. The world is already hard and sad, so why make it even worse? That's why I didn't like sad endings in films or books either. I stepped back and looked at my ocean painting when I was done. It was missing something. I don't get it, I gave it my all. It looked happy, but it was missing something, as usual. I turned around because I thought someone was looking at me. I turn back because I don't see anyone looking at me, but I do see Austin painting at the back of the class. I suddenly want to see what he was painting. I sigh and decide to look at more paintings. There are all kinds of landscapes, like forests, rivers, and fields. Jude also painted a forest, but he doesn't really like it because he starts to look at the trees. I laugh, and he gives me a crooked smile. The class isn't very neat. Mrs. Moreno is busy with her own things. As long as we get our work done and don't make too much noise, she doesn't care if we move around. I think about Austin. I really want to see his work. But how? I try to think of something. I look back one more time and see Zeke painting in front of him. I don't like the way he acts, but he is much easier to talk to than Austin. What should I ask him? Brain, please give me something. An idea comes to mind. I walk over to Zeke. Austin lifts his head and looks me in the eye at the right time. My stomach feels weird. Lyra, calm down. I turn my head away from Austin and look at Zeke instead. When he sees me standing in front of him, he stops painting. Hey, he says slowly, looking me up and down once before focusing on my eyes. I shudder at the way he looks at me and the way he acts. I was wondering if I could get Kira's number, I say to him. Those brown eyes are looking at me with a piercing gaze, and I surprisingly like it. I look into his brown eyes, even though I've never had the courage. They look empty. Why is he so careful? You can't really read him. I try to sneak a peek at Austin's painting while Zeke takes out his phone and scrolls through it. Whoa! The painting he made was beautiful. Sad but beautiful. He had painted an ocean too, which was surprising. Mine was calm, but his had angry waves. I couldn't stop looking at the painting because the feelings of anger and sadness were so strong. He had only used shades of gray for colors. When did I start to like paintings that make me sad? When I look back at Zeke, I hear someone clear their throat and smile. He gives me the phone number. Give me yours, Zeke says, a small smile on his lips. Oh no. I'm sorry, but I don't feel safe giving it to you, I say, trying to be brave. Zeke says, we're friends, and his eyes sparkle. I don't feel good. I say, maybe later, and that's it. I say thank you and leave, but not before looking at Austin one last time. His face shows that he is amused, but he is still looking at the canvas in front of him. As soon as I look at him, it's gone. The day was long and tiring. I put my things in my locker. Sky is telling me about a party we are going to tonight, but I'm really tired from everything that has happened today. I think it will help you forget about everything that happened today, Sky says carefully. I look at her. Do you really think so? I ask with a small sigh. Of course. You can hang out with me, meet new people, and maybe even get a date, Sky says with a wink. But I don't want any of the things she said. But it's okay if you don't want to, she says with a smile. I begin, but Sky stops me. Her eyes are wide and her mouth is open. I turn around and know that my face looks the same as hers. I'll wait for you outside, Lyra, Sky says, and then she leaves me with Austin. He makes everyone stutter, so I'm not the only one. I close the locker and try to get past him, but he stops me. Name, he says in a rough voice. He is standing tall in front of me and staring into my eyes. His stance is scary, and I feel a chill run down my spine. I feel tingly and happy. I say, "Hi," even though I know what he means. I'd like to hear his voice. He pushes out, "Your name." "Lyra," I say in a soft voice. He doesn't say anything. He just shakes his head and walks away with a stern look on his face. "Stop," I tell him. He turns around, and his face is as closed off as it always is. I wish I could understand him. I say, "We have an assignment together," and I play with my fingers. His eyes are on my face, and I can feel my cheeks getting hot. Why do I feel embarrassed for no reason? I groan inside. He only tilts his head a little bit. "Earlier, you were asleep in English class," I remind him. "Do it on your own." He looks at me one last time, then turns around and leaves. I finally get a hold of myself after a minute or two. When I go outside, I see Sky standing by the door. When she looks at me, her smile turns into a small, playful smirk. "I've made up my mind to go to the party," I tell her. "I need something to do." Desperately. And all of a sudden, I'm excited about it. She screams. I look at myself in the mirror that goes all the way to the floor. "Sky, I can't wear this," I yell from my room for the umpteenth time. Sky walks into the room and gasps. "I don't feel good." "I don't know, it's not me," I say to her, looking at her shocked face in the mirror. She looks at me in the mirror and says, "Nonsense, you look beautiful. If wearing clothes that show off your body makes you look beautiful, then yes, I was looking beautiful. I agree that the dress is pretty, but I've never worn anything like it before. It is a bright red color with a sweetheart neckline that shows off more of my body than I would like. The waist is tight, and the skirt flows down to my mid-thigh. Sky brought this for herself, but she said it would look better on me. I see Sky and know she won't make me, but maybe I should wear this because I've never worn anything like it before. Not because I want to impress anyone. Sky. "Yes, babe," she says as she looks through my wardrobe. "Will Austin be there?" She turns away from the wardrobe and looks at me. "I haven't seen him at parties, but he might be at this one because the host was his best friend as a kid or something. They don't talk much anymore, so I don't know, maybe." Sky looks through my closet and says, "I love your dress. I think I'll wear that." I'm glad someone will wear the dress. I don't know why I bought it in the first place. It's like the one I'm wearing, but it fits all the curves and isn't as flowy as this red one. We use Sky's hair curler to style each other's hair. She brought a big bag with her that had everything we needed, just so you know. I was a little embarrassed because I didn't have much. Forget that, I didn't have anything for tonight. That dress is the only thing. My hair is curled loosely and goes down to my waist. Sky makes my eyes look smoky, and the color of my lips matches my dress. I ask her if it's too much, but she just laughs and says it's nothing. I feel bad that I'm not helping her much when she does her makeup. We take our first selfies before we leave once we're done. I feel like a different person now that I look like one. So, you don't have a flatmate, Sky says as we sit in her red Porsche. Nope. Do you want me to find one? I know the rent is high, she says as she starts the car. I think about it. Sure, but only girls, I say. Understood. I'm happy to have a friend like her. I feel like I've known her for a long time, even though it's only been a day. As soon as we get out of her car, I start looking for him. Austin. The house is really big, and the music is so loud that I don't want to go inside anymore. Sky grabs my hand and pulls me into the house. Her excitement is contagious. Zeke. Sky screams and wraps her arms around his waist. Do I have to say hello the same way? I'd rather not. When Zeke pulls away from Sky and looks at me with that strange look, my mind goes blank. Then he surprises me by hugging me and saying my name, which doesn't feel good at all. I pull away when he squeezes me a little. I don't look him in the eyes and walk away with Sky, who has no idea what's going on. I don't feel well. We go right to the dance floor and dance for a while until I feel like people are watching me. Eyes I know. I turn around and see Austin, who is alone in a corner with a red cup in his hand. He is wearing black trousers and a white button-up shirt with some buttons at the top left open. I look at him carefully so he doesn't see me looking at him. Not once does he look at me. Why do I want him to? I feel hands grab my waist all of a sudden, and I freak out. I look back and see Zeke. What is wrong with him? I politely tell him I need a drink, but he just smirks and says he needs one too. I ask Sky if she wants a drink, but she says no again, not knowing how badly I want her to say yes. As I walk to the kitchen, I try to stay as far away from Zeke as I can, but he doesn't get it because he keeps his hands on the small of my back. I get a Coke, and he gets some alcohol. What's next? He keeps looking at me, and I can't think of a way to get away. After a while, I say, I have to go to the toilet, and his eyes shine with something I can't understand. He runs a hand through his blonde hair and says, I'll watch your drink. He looks good, but his personality makes him look bad. I know he hasn't done anything wrong, but he makes me feel sick. I rush to the toilet and take my time. When I get back, I look for Sky but find the blue-eyed devil instead. He gives me my drink, and I sip it while giving him a fake smile. He begins to ask me about where I used to live. I give him short answers in the hopes that he will get the hint, but he doesn't. I feel dizzy. I hold on to his hands for support. I can't hear anything, and everything goes blurry all of a sudden. I feel like I'm floating on a cloud. It all gets blurry after that. I can't remember anything. When I wake up the next day, I have the worst headache. I try to open my eyes, but they just close again. It feels like my head is going to explode. I can't remember anything from last night. I dare to sit down and open my eyes. I know I'm in my room. I feel better, but it doesn't last long. I gasp and say, "What are you doing here? What is Austin doing here?" I feel panic in my chest as I try to remember what happened last night. I can't remember anything at all. How is that possible? I didn't even drink. Austin leans against the window and looks at me, then back outside. He has a small smile on his lips, and my heart is about to burst. This is the most I've seen him say. He says, "Good morning to you too," in that deep voice of his. My heart skips a beat. What happened last night? When I see that Austin isn't wearing a shirt, my eyes almost pop out of their sockets. I have never seen a body like that before. I look at his face, hoping he didn't see me looking at his body, but the smirk that slowly turns into a small smile says otherwise. Did he just smile? I stare at him, confused. "So, what happened yesterday?" I say in a soft, defeated voice. "If something did happen, I can't go back in time." "Come on, say something," I say. More like plead. "Did we?" I ask, suddenly feeling shy. I look at my hands, which are crossed over my lap and under the covers. "Did we?" he says, his voice as husky as ever and his smile getting bigger. There are dimples on his left cheek. I get out of the daze. "You know," I grit my teeth when he laughs. He waves his hand to say to keep going. "Did we sleep together?" I get it out, and I'm pretty sure I look like a tomato. His laughs fill the air, and I can't believe how much I like it. I didn't think I'd ever see him smile. It sounds like heaven. He is laughing at me, though. He laughs and says, "You know, Bunny, you're cute." My heart skips a beat. Cute? Me? "K Bunny. You're like one," he says and brushes it off. But what makes it so funny? Maybe he doesn't feel that way about me. So he might think the idea is funny. That makes my heart beat faster. A little bit. When I stand up, my headache gets a little better. My dress. I'm not putting them on. I'm in my pajamas instead. How? Why is Austin at my house? How did he get here? Why can't I remember anything? What is going on? Tell me what happened, I say, still sleepy. He stops laughing as he gets closer. I put my hand out to stop him. I don't want him to get too close and distract me. "Please." He nods his head, and his face gets serious. I wonder if I'll ever see that side of him again. "You drank too much." "Too much?" I'm confused. I didn't drink at all. His serious face turns into a frown. "I found you passed out on a couch at midnight. Midnight? But we got there at 8, I say. He frowns even more. He says, "I looked for Sky, and that's how I got into your flat." "Sky told you where I lived?" Just like that. I ask in shock. "Why would she do that?" He says, "No, she was here all night. She just left an hour ago." "And why are you not wearing a shirt?" I ask, trying not to look down. But a quick look wouldn't hurt, would it? Don't look, oh God. He looks better than the models in these magazines. Can a boy his age really have that kind of body? Wow. He says, I don't see you complaining. I turn red for the umpteenth time. Time. Yes. What time is it? Are we late for school? No, but we'll have to skip the library, he says. Why? The assignment, he says, looking straight at me. Stop going crazy, heart. He is just looking. But I changed my mind. Can we do it in the evening? I ask him, hoping he will say yes. Of course, he says. I think he sounds almost excited. Your place? I ask with hope. He mumbles a quick yes. I nod and get up, leaving Austin shirtless behind as I walk to the toilet. I'm never going to a party again. Not when I have school the other day, at least. Austin cleans up in my bathroom after me and then decides not to go home because it would take too long. Seeing you at school together makes me feel a little tingly. He doesn't seem to care. I have no other choice but to walk and get to school late on the second day. I wear blue jeans and a plain white shirt, and I tie my hair up in a messy bun. It doesn't feel strange to have Austin in my flat, which is strange. You know what I mean. But the ride to school is really awkward because we keep looking at each other and then looking away when our eyes meet. The air also gets really thick. I quickly say thank you and walk away after Austin parks the car. He doesn't show that he doesn't talk at all, even though people know him for it. He doesn't seem like bad news either. He has saved me 2 times. I meet Sky by the lockers. She hugs me, which surprises me. I'm so sorry, Lyra, she says. I shouldn't have left you alone last night. I don't mind that she's only been my friend for a day. But maybe she should have come with me since it was my first party? But she stayed there all night. It's not your fault, Sky. Thank you for being there all night, it means a lot, I tell her. It really means a lot. People are spreading stupid rumors about Austin. He was really worried, she says. I nod along, and when she says he was worried, I get butterflies in my stomach. I get my books out for the first class. Sky and I are taking calculus together. As we walk to class, she tells me about this girl named Trixie. I don't really pay attention to what she says because I'm thinking about what happened last night, but I know that Trixie is the school slut, not my words, and I need to stay away from her. The lunch will be here soon. I grab my tray and walk to our table, ignoring the people I know who are looking at me. But before I get to my table, I'm completely soaked. The tray slips out of my hands. I hear a voice say, "Oops." I wipe my face with my sleeves while I look at the person who did it. She has strawberry blonde hair that is curled, and even though she has blue eyes and the pinkest lipstick, she looks just like a Barbie. She looks nice. Also, she doesn't seem sorry at all. Everyone is watching us and waiting for the drama to start. Sorry, but no one is getting anything. You're not going to do anything, the girl asks, putting one hand on her hip. I'm shy, but the Barbie won't scare me. If I hadn't been so tired, I might have done something. like telling her that what she did wasn't nice. I give her a little glare and then go to the toilet. Sky comes with me. But even though everyone is shocked, I can see people looking at my shirt. When I get to the hallway, I look down and groan. Why did I put on a white shirt? Barbie's water makes it see-through. That's great. I ask Sky, so, I'm guessing that was the Trixie you were talking about, as I look at my wet shirt in the mirror. No, she's actually one of her friends, Sky says as she gives me a shirt. I groan when I see the piece of cloth. The fact that it's black isn't the problem. It's so small that my stomach will show, and I'm sure it will be a little small for me. Not to mention how tight it is. Lyra, this is the only thing I have, Sky says firmly as she shoves me into one of the cubicles. The soaked white shirt. I give it a try. I don't feel good, it's just too tight, I mumble. Sky says with a roll of her eyes and a small smile, it's not my fault that my boobs are smaller than yours. We don't want you to get sick, so go now. You look hot, so stop worrying. Austin will probably drool over you, Sky says in a teasing voice as she looks at me when I'm done. I choke on my own spit. But they say Austin is gay because he hasn't been with a girl, Sky says. What kind of reasoning is that? I start to cough a lot, and Sky pats my back and laughs the whole time. Oh God, is it really true? Let's eat before the bell rings, Sky pulls me outside, and I feel a little weird because some guys are looking at me. It's not hard to get people's attention, is it? Just show some skin and voila! You have their full attention. Almost everyone is looking at me when we get back. I follow Sky to the table, silently groaning. I blush when Jude whistles softly. I know he's not trying to hit on me or anything, he's been acting like an older brother I never had. It's a nice whistle. But Zeke has an evil look in his eyes as he looks at me. I shudder when I look away. Kira isn't here today. Another dumb rumor, Sky says quietly as she looks behind me. I turn around and see Austin looking at me. He's 3 tables away, but his gaze is so intense and piercing that other people notice it too. I turn my head. I see that Jude and Zeke are also looking at Austin, and it seems like they can read each other's minds. I eat my lunch without talking. That really rhymed. The day goes by pretty fast. Because of Sky's tea, 6 guys have hit on me. Please note my sarcasm. I walk to my locker with a sense of relief that the day is over. Yes. I'm excited to go to Austin's house. Lyra, I almost forgot, Sky says as she runs up to me. I got you a roommate, she says, taking a deep breath. She didn't need to run to say this. It's Kira, she says after she catches her breath. My eyes get bigger. I cringe when my voice gets high-pitched and I say, she doesn't seem to like me. Sky rolls her eyes. She isn't that bad. Most of the time, there is a reason for how someone is. She's had a hard past, she says in a low voice. If Sky says Kira isn't bad, I should believe her because she is her friend. Okay. When is she coming? I ask. Right now, actually. We can go in my car, Sky says, and I sigh as she pulls me to her car. I hope she's not that bad. Kira is waiting outside when we get to my flat. I smile at her a little, but she doesn't notice. She's really rude to me. I show her around, and she looks completely blank. Austin and Kira would be a great couple. When I think about it, my heart starts to race and my chest starts to burn. I sigh because I've been feeling strange things. Why do I hurt myself with my own thoughts? When do I move in? Kira asks as she pops her gum. Whenever you want to, I say, and then my phone vibrates in my pocket. After I check my phone, I gasp. How could I not remember? You really like making people wait, don't you? I get a text from Austin and check the time. Oh no. Sky, I say in a sweet voice as I flutter my eyes. She laughs and asks me what I want. Take me to Austin's house. Her eyebrows go up in surprise, and she starts to cough and choke on her spit. I say, for the assignment, and Kira looks at me. Sure, Sky says, sounding excited once she has calmed down. They look at each other and give each other a knowing look. I ignore it and go outside with Sky. It takes us 15 minutes to get there. She texts me that Kira will be moving tonight. Austin lives in a wealthy area. Of course, the school norm is that the mystery boy has to be attractive and wealthy. Also, fit. With a fit body. His body. Hey, Lyra. Sky is amazed by the mansion in front of us. It looks very nice. Sky says with a dreamy look in her eyes, you could be living here in 10 years, Lyra. My eyes get bigger. What do you mean? Nothing, she says shyly. I roll my eyes and wave goodbye as I get out. I take a deep breath and go inside. I groan when I remember that I still had on the same black blouse and hadn't changed into something more comfortable. Let's see if I get hit on for the 7th time, I mumble as I stand in front of the door. Austin answers the door without a shirt on, with a towel around his shoulders and wet hair. He gives me the same blank look that he always does. Hey, I say, trying not to look at his body. I'm telling you, it's very hard. Very hard. The mansion is very quiet. I ask him, do you live alone? He says yes quickly and keeps going. When we get to the door to his room, he turns around and looks at me with something I don't know. He opens the door a second later. I look around. The room smells like him. The color is off-white, and everything is in its place, which is very different from his personality. He keeps surprising me, doesn't he? But my eyes see a small bag on the floor in the corner. A bag from Victoria's Secret. I see that the tips of Austin's ears are turning red. I look at the bag again, and it finally hits me. The bag I dropped when I ran into him. My eyes get bigger and my cheeks get hot, turning red. What is my bag of underwear doing in Austin's room? I point to the little bag and say, what is that doing here? He scratches the back of his head and says, I can explain, even though the tips of his ears are still red. He blushes in the ears. He goes into what I think is a closet. Of course, a mansion like this would have a walk-in closet. He finally comes out, and his black t-shirt fits his muscles perfectly and shows off his arms. I didn't know what was in the bag. I tried to call you and even went after you, but you were gone. So I brought it home, he says like it's normal. And why would you bring it home? I ask, my cheeks still hot and I'm pretty sure I look red. I thought I would see you again, and I didn't want to leave it on the road. Why do you think we'll meet again? I push. Come on, lady. Have some mercy, he says, and his ears get even redder. Who would have thought Austin could be so cute? I stop talking about it. For now. We get comfortable in his bed while we think about what to write our essay about. For a senior, this is a very simple task. God knows why Mrs. Reeves would pair us up for such a small job. We haven't gotten anywhere in an hour. I understand now. He probably wants to teach us how to work together because every idea I come up with isn't good enough for him, and I don't like the ideas he comes up with. We don't get along at all. That's how an hour goes by. I groan as I get angry. He looks at me with a glare, and I look at him with a smile. He has the guts to look happy. We have to pick a topic, I complain. Yes. I promise that I will hit him in the face very hard. I take a deep breath and fight the urge to do it. I sigh, painting. His eyes start to twinkle, which makes me think this is interesting to him. Painting. Yes. Colors, he says. Of course, he couldn't agree. Okay, colors it is, I say as I check my watch. It doesn't make sense for him to pick the colors for the topic because he only painted with shades of gray last time. I have to go now, I say to him. Kira could be moving in at any time. Okay. So, tomorrow morning, the library, he asks. Okay, I say as we get up and go outside. That's when I remember he has something that belongs to me. He turns around and raises one of his eyebrows when I stop suddenly. I remind him, the bag. He walks to his room and says, I'll get it. While I wait for him, I feel shy. I look around. It's strange that he lives alone in a big house. Where are his mum and dad? When he comes back and gives me the bag, our fingers touch, and I feel a spark. I look at him, and from the look of surprise on his face, I think he feels it too. He says, I'll drive you, when we're outside. I start to say no, but he gives me a pointed look. We don't want a repeat of your first day, he says as he walks to his garage, leaving me in front of the mansion with the Victoria's Secret bag in my hand. He drives out in a fancy grey sports car, of course. It smells so good when I go inside. A bad thought comes to mind. With my new confidence, I think about teasing him a little. Seriously, you thought we'd meet, hey? I say in a soft voice. Did you look inside the bag too? I tease a little more, but it backfires on me. He slowly smiles. He looks at me for a second before focusing on the road again. I did, he says with no expression. My eyes get bigger. He says in a low voice that makes my stomach clench, the white one with little bows on it. His face stays the same. Are really? I ask. He hums. Can I picture you in them? His voice is dangerously low now, and the air around us gets thick. I take a deep breath and try to take my mind off of things by looking outside. I can see him glancing at me out of the corner of my eye, and I can see the smirk on his face. Not at all. He laughs. I look at him when we get to my flat. I take a deep breath, lean in closer, kiss him on the cheek, and mumble a small thank you. He opens his mouth and his eyes get bigger. I get out of the car, slam the door and don't look at him as I walk into the flat. I can feel his eyes on me the whole time. Like always. I feel a wave of embarrassment wash over me, and I shudder. I see Kira waiting outside once I'm inside. I let her in with a sad smile and helped her put her things in order. Kira has a lot more boxes than I do, and it takes us 2 hours to put everything in order. The flat looks more full and feels more like home. I cook dinner, and we eat it together. She says she has to go to work at 8. I ask her if she can help me get a job too, and she says she'll do her best. She'll be back before midnight. I put on my pajamas and flop into bed, going over the whole day in my head again and again. What a horrible day it was. Can I picture you in them? I blush when I think about what he said, and I go to sleep with a smile on my face. He sure is full of surprises, isn't he? As I said, that day was one of the best nights of my life. If I had known what was going to happen the next day, I would have gone to my aunt's house instead of wasting time sleeping. I get up much earlier than usual. I feel great and walk to the toilet with a spring in my step. I put on my outfit of the day, which is a top and black high-waisted jeans. I put my hair up in a ponytail and walk to the kitchen. I say, "Morning Kira," when I see her working on something. "Are you not happy today?" she asks with a small smile. I realize this is the first time she's been this nice. I smile at her as I see her make pancakes. I sit on the kitchen counter. After breakfast, I send Austin a text to see if he's still up for going to the library to do the assignment. He sends back a yes. That was quick. I walk to school in 15 minutes. I walk to the library and sit down at one of the tables. I look for some books that have to do with colors. There is a thick book on one of the top shelves. But because I'm short, I can't reach it. I stand on my tiptoes and grumble to myself. I still can't get to it. When I feel someone behind me, I freeze. One hand grabs my waist while the other reaches up to get the book. The smell that I know hits me. I turn around, and my cheeks get hot. I say thank you as I look into his brown eyes. I can smell that earthy smell I like when he's really close. When he squeezes my hip a little, I gasp. A screechy voice makes us jump apart and says, "No romance in the library, I'm sick of hormonal students." As she walks away, the librarian gives us a look. I take the book from Austin's hands, who is laughing, and we walk to the table where I was sitting. We get through half of the essay before our first class. Time goes by very quickly. We agree to finish the work at his house in the afternoon and then go our separate ways. As I walk to my locker, someone suddenly grabs my hand and pulls me into a classroom. I turn around to see Zeke's blue eyes as the door closes behind me. I can feel my heart racing as I see a smirk on his face. He grabs my wrist and pulls me to a chair. WHWH, I can't finish my sentence because Zeke pushes me hard into one of the chairs. He takes out his phone and tells her to shut up in a stern voice. "Don't cry," he says before giving me his phone. I cry when I see what it is. It's a video of me in the bright red dress. The day of the event. But that's not all. The dress's zip is open. I let the dress fall and stepped out of it in the video. I only have my black panties on. When I see my hands reach my back, a sob comes out of my mouth. I can't look anymore because I'm starting to hyperventilate. I can't breathe because my tears are making it impossible to see. Zeke puts his hand over my mouth to quiet my cries, and I don't know how long I cry. How did he get me to do those things? I can tell Zeke is mad because his teeth are clenched and his jaw is tight. He clicks his tongue. I told you not to cry, didn't I? He says before raising his hand and hitting me. I try to stop crying, but I can't. Listen, honey, no one has to know about this, okay? Or I will make sure every single student has your video. I want you here tomorrow, same time, same place, he says like he's talking to a child and not just slapping me. He pats my cheek, which is red, and leaves. I miss 3 classes and spend the time crying in the bathroom. I wouldn't go to lunch either, but that would make people suspicious, and Sky would definitely ask questions that I couldn't answer. I wash my face with cold water and then look in the mirror. My eyes are red and puffy, so anyone with common sense would know I've been crying. I go to Google and look up what I can do. Here's what you do: turn on the cold water, put your fingers under the tap, and then gently pat cold water under your eyes, where they are all puffy. This cools you down and tightens the blood vessels under your eyes that are making them swell. Put some cold water on your wrists as well. I do what it says and wait for a while. I don't look completely normal, but I'm pretty sure no one will notice. I take a deep breath and leave the bathroom. Sky asks, "Where were you?" as I walk to the cafeteria queue. I don't want to eat anything. I quickly come up with an excuse. Library. Sorry, I lost track of time. She looks like she believes me. I don't want to sit at the same table as Zeke, but I have to. I go to the table with Sky. Where's your tray? Kira asks. I don't want to eat, I say with a fake smile. My heart is still racing, and I still feel a little shaky. I can feel Zeke's eyes on me. While Sky talks about a movie she saw yesterday, I don't look at him, I look at the table in front of us. What is he going to do to me tomorrow? That's all I can think about. I want to tell Sky everything, but I don't think she will believe me. She has no idea that Zeke is lying to her. No one can help me get out of this mess. It seems like the whole day is long. I end up missing all of my classes. At one point, I fall asleep on the bathroom floor, and the caretaker wakes me up. I don't see the point in staying at school any longer, so I'm thinking about going home. I run through the hall while I wipe my tears away. But I run into someone, and before I can fall, a hand wraps around my waist and pulls me to a strong chest. I look at the person who owns the hand with fear, but I feel a little better when I realize it's not Zeke. Watch where you're going, Lyra. What's wrong? Austin says, his scary voice changing to a serious one as he sees me and pulls me to him before I hit the ground. He uses his thumb to wipe away a tear that has fallen down my cheek. His brown eyes fill with worry, and a frown spreads across his face as he looks at me. I want to tell him everything. But I can't take the chance. By the way, he's still a bit of a stranger. You all need to stop being mean to her because she wouldn't tell Austin everything. His eyes that are full of questions never leave my face. I look around because I'm afraid Zeke might see us. When there is no one else around, I feel better. I try to get away from Austin, but he won't let me because he has a tight grip on my waist. One of his hands leaves my waist to touch my left cheek. The feeling makes my eyes flutter shut. His voice is hard, but his look at me is soft. I might have gotten a little bruise on my cheeks after the slap. I wish I could, but I know I can't. I can't even think of a lie. Please drop it, I say softly. I beg with my eyes, and his gaze softens. He looks like he can't decide whether to drop it or not. That makes my heart race. Does he care? Maybe a little bit. Please, I say quietly. He shuts his eyes and then opens them again, nodding his head once. He says, just this once, in a low voice that makes it sound like he doesn't want to. I feel like crying because I know there will be another time. When he lets go of my waist, I try to get past him, but he grabs my hand and raises his eyebrows. What? Don't you have class? He asks. I look down at my feet. Let me go, Austin. I'm about to cry, and I don't want to break down in front of him. He lets go of my hand and sighs tiredly, but he follows me instead. I say firmly, with tears in my eyes, Austin, go to your class. He doesn't listen. I start walking home without paying attention to him, my head full of what could happen next. Austin follows me to my flat and all the way to my room, but he acts like he doesn't know me. When I get to my door, I look at him tiredly. What do you want? He rolls his eyes and pushes past me to my flat, leaving my mouth open. He sits on the couch and pats the space next to him. I close the door behind me and stand next to him, not sure what to do. With my hand on my waist, I say, you're creeping me out, Austin. I had nothing else to do, so I thought I should keep my poor bunny company, he says with a blank smile. I give him a dirty look. He still sounds angry. I look angrier. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you were safe, he says with a sigh. Why do you care? I ask in a soft voice. But I'm not complaining. I just want to know. Lyra, you are way too innocent for this world. I feel fuzzy on the inside. I sit next to him and think about telling him everything, but I'm too scared to do it. If Zeke leaks the video, I'm in big trouble. My stomach is grumbling. I know, I hadn't eaten anything. When Austin looks at me sternly, my cheeks turn red. Don't tell me you didn't eat lunch, he says with a sigh. I smile sheepishly at him, and he shakes his head and mumbles something I can't hear. He takes my hand and pulls me out of my flat. I don't ask him any questions and let him take me where we're going. I don't want to say anything because I'm too tired. When he doesn't let go of my hand and holds it tightly, my stomach feels funny. I feel warmth all over. Do friends hold hands? Am I supposed to feel like this? We end up at a restaurant where he buys me food. He won't listen to me when I tell him not to. I love spending time with Austin, but I can't stop thinking about the next day. Austin must have noticed this because he keeps staring at me, trying to figure out what was going on. We go back to my flat after eating at the restaurant to finish the assignment. We end up seeing a movie instead. We're almost done, and it's evening. I get up from my bed and walk to the door. So, we're going to the library to edit the essay tomorrow, right? He hums softly and looks for something in my face. I lean against the door and ask him, "What's wrong?" Austin stands up from my bed and walks over to me. "What's going on, Lyra?" he asks. "Tell me," he begs, and my heart starts to race. I hold his hands and try to sound calm. "It's fine, okay? You said you would drop it. Okay." He leaves the room and the flat without looking back. I smile sadly. How did my life end up like this? Why do good people have bad things happen to them? Or am I not a good person? The next day, I throw up everything I ate for dinner. I'm pretty sure I have a fever. No matter what, I put on a light pink shirt and black jeans. I don't eat breakfast and walk to school. I'm glad Kira doesn't ask me anything. I feel dizzy and like my whole body is about to shut down, but I can't skip school. I don't want to take any chances. Risks that have to do with the video. I would do what Zeke said and go today. Should I tell the police? What if Zeke finds out? I met Austin at the library. He looks at me with worry in his eyes, which is the most emotion he has ever shown me. I smile at him even though I'm tired, hoping he'll see that I'm okay. Even if I'm not. I can't focus on the assignment, and Austin definitely sees it, but for some reason he doesn't say anything. Time flies by, and I feel dread. My heart starts to race a lot as I leave Austin and head to the classroom where Zeke is waiting. I feel like throwing up again, even though my stomach is empty, and my pace slows down. I check to see if anyone is around before I open the door. I take a deep breath and open the door. When I see Zeke playing with a knife, my heart drops. I take another deep breath and go into the class, closing the door behind me. This school makes me mad. I try to stop shaking like an earthquake, but I can't. His pocket knife makes me shiver all over. Zeke doesn't look at me and keeps playing with the knife. He pats his lap after a moment, and I know what he wants. I put my bag on the table next to me and walk slowly towards him. My heart is going to jump out of my chest. I often think about the worst things. I know it's a bad habit. So, all I can think is that it will hurt to die if he kills me with the little knife. Finally, he looks at me when I'm halfway there. His laugh echoes through the empty classroom. He says in a threatening voice, "I'm not going to kill you, Lyra. Not yet. Not yet." I know I have to go to him no matter how long it takes. I don't want to make him angry, though. I walk over to him and sit on his lap. The feeling makes me feel sick to my stomach. He moves me around and then looks at me with half-closed eyes. He reaches for something else while keeping the knife on his desk. It's a piece of rope. His other hand runs down my arm, and I shiver in disgust. He grabs both of my wrists and ties them behind my back, which hurts. They're going to get bruises, and I don't know how to hide them. I wait for him to do something next. He traced my neckline a few times, and I squirmed in his lap. It makes me feel so bad. Everything he does is hurting me. When he pops the first button on my shirt, I take a deep breath. A tear falls down my face and lands on my shirt. He looks up with fake pity and unbuttons more. No matter how hard I try, more tears keep falling. The next 30 minutes go by very slowly, and I cry and whimper the whole time. I wear some bracelets to hide the bruises on my wrists. Thank goodness I had some of them in my bag. It doesn't cover them all the way, but it does a pretty good job. I think about skipping class again, but I need good grades. I miss the first class because I'm in the bathroom cleaning my shirt, which was starting to look even pinker. I put on a black shirt. I can't help but cry as I clean the blood off the shirt and think about what happened with Zeke. I don't care about the classes, I'm going home. This time, though, I don't run into anyone when I walk outside the school. I let the tear fall as I walked home, not caring who saw me. I fall apart as soon as I walk in the door. I go into my room, close the door, and cry so hard that my throat hurts. At some point, I doze off. A bell wakes me up. I closed my eyes again and hoped that sleep would come back, but the ring kept going. I sit on my bed and rub my eyes while I look at my phone. When I see who it is, all signs of sleep leave my eyes. Call coming in Austin. I don't want to pick up the phone, and I feel better when the call ends. I feel better for a short time, but then he calls again. I take a deep breath and pick up. Hey, my voice sounds hoarse and sleepy because I've been crying so much. Where are you? He says it in a harsh way that makes me flinch. I check the time and see that it was lunch. I'm sorry, he groans and then says in a softer voice, where are you? I croak out, home. Why? Because, I don't say anything else because I don't know what to say. He sighs on the other side and says something I can hear. I ask him, what? You'll kill me, Lyra. You have to come over again, he says. We have to finish the assignment. But I know it's about more than just the assignment. It sounds more like an interrogation. Okay, I say to him. Eat something, he says before hanging up. I roll my eyes and lie down on my bed. I fall asleep again. I am late because I walked to Austin's house after answering Sky's call. I am almost running to his house. I'm really hungry because I slept too long. I'm just tired and hungry now. Not to mention, feeling terrible. As I try to catch my breath, I knock on his door. The door opens to show Austin. His face doesn't show much, but his eyes look worried. I wonder what it is? Before I speak, my stomach growls loudly. I know I'm turning red because I can feel my face getting hotter. Seriously, he says as he pinches the bridge of his nose. He lets out a big sigh and holds my cheeks, which makes my eyes widen and my cheeks get even hotter. He talks to me like I'm a little kid. Hey, you need to take care of yourself, okay? Not eating meals is bad for your health. I want to help you, but I might not always be there. That makes my heart feel good. I nod my head when he takes his hand away and looks at me with a strange look. One that I've never seen on him before. He says, let's get your tummy something, and I laugh as I walk into his house. He turns around and bumps my arm with his as he locks the door behind us. I wince and jump away from him, which makes him squint his eyes. As he walks towards me, my heart rate goes up. His face is very serious. When he gets close enough, his index finger runs along my jawline and up, giving him a good look at my neck. I don't know why I don't stop him from pulling the shirt off my shoulder and showing the cuts. "What is this, Lyra?" he yells. I turn my head away. I try to eat the spaghetti without making any noise. Austin can really cook. I hold back moans of pleasure as I eat it. It's strange, but I'm not worried that he'll ask me about what he saw. Not like I'm going to tell him. The quiet is making me nervous, and I can tell Austin is holding back from asking me questions. He is sitting across from me at the big dining table we are sitting at, with his elbows on the table and his hands covering his face. I laugh inside when he looks serious. I shouldn't be thinking about him that way because I'm sure he doesn't think of me that way. He takes his hand off his face and walks over to me when I'm done eating. He doesn't look at me at all, and I think it's because he saw the new scars. He might be disgusted by them, and who wouldn't be? He takes my plate and puts it in the wash basin. He walks out of his kitchen without saying anything or even looking at me, and I take that as my cue to follow him. He doesn't even look back at me when we get to his room. I silently stare at his back, my mind racing with thoughts. But I know one thing for sure, I'm not telling him the truth. Austin says, "I'll make you tell the truth, Lyra, after 1,000 years." My heart rate goes up and my eyes get bigger. What he says shocks me not only because I was thinking the same thing, but also because he sounds so sure. He turns around, and his eyes are full of determination. When he looks at me, it's like he's looking right through me. He walks up to me, and I take a few steps back. My back hits the wall. This cliché position isn't as hot as the romance books say it is. This makes me feel scared, anxious, and worried. And more worried. His breath blows on my face, and his sharp eyes look down at my neck. I try to push him away, but he won't move. He puts his hands behind my ear and then drops them to my shoulder. He takes off the shirt, showing my scarred skin. "Stop, Austin," I say through my shaking lips, but he keeps looking at my skin, and every second his eyes fill with rage. I whimper, "Austin." That makes him stop. He steps back and wipes the tears off my cheeks. He looks more worried than I do. His face is strikingly frowning, and his eyes are looking at me with worry. His jaw hurts because it is clenched. I don't think twice about wrapping my arms around his waist and putting my head on his chest. As I cry against his chest, my sobs get louder and my body shakes a lot. I know that crying won't help me, but it does make me feel better. For me, crying is a form of therapy. A moment later, he wraps his hands around my waist and pulls me closer. One of his hands runs up and down my back, calming me. He whispers softly in my ear, "I'm here," and kisses my hair. I pull away from him, and my tears fall less often. I look at him and his shirt, which is completely soaked, and feel bad for him. Austin takes my hand and leads me to his bed, then goes into the bathroom. He comes back without a shirt on and with a first aid kit in his hand. The best thing anyone could do to get their mind off things is to see Austin without a shirt. I didn't just say it. "Who did it?" he asks, his voice rough and hard, as if he were talking about the cuts. "Drop it, Austin," he says, cutting me off. "Don't you tell me to drop it again, Lyra. Have you seen the cuts? Do you really not care about your body? Why would you do this to yourself? I would have helped you if you had just told me what was going on. Please don't try to get me out of this. I can't take the chance," I say, and my voice breaks. His eyes soften a little. He looks at my wrists. As he looks at them with suspicion, his soft look changes. I really hope he doesn't see it. Austin takes off the bracelet and lifts my hand. When he sees the bruise, he takes a deep breath. He does the same thing to my other hand, which also has a pretty big bruise. He takes a deep breath to calm down. "You should clean the cuts," he says, and you can hear the anger in his voice when he says cuts. "No," I shake my head. "I haven't looked at the new scars yet, and I don't want to. I can't stand to look at them." Austin gives me a stern look. I stand my ground and shake my head no again. He sighs in frustration and runs a hand through his hair. "Bunny, they can get sick," he tries to explain. I don't care. Physical pain will numb my emotional pain, if anything. "Lyra." "Austin," I say in the same way. "Why not?" he asks in a frustrated tone. "Don't want to look at them," I mumble. His eyebrows go up. He asks, "Do you want me to do it for you?" I look at him in surprise. "What?" "Please, just get them cleaned," he says, his ears turning a light pink color. "I mean, if you trust me, I won't look down." I let out a sigh. "Are you sure they won't make you sick?" "They're ugly." "What?" No, Bunny. They won't make me sick." "Okay, but only after you put on a shirt or something," I say softly, my cheeks getting hot. He laughs a little, then goes to his closet and comes back with a black shirt. Is there anything he has that isn't gray? When Austin says the next thing, I get a chill down my spine. He says, "Let's get you out of that shirt, Bunny." I take a deep breath and start to unbutton my shirt. When he looks at me, I get butterflies in my stomach. My shirt is unbuttoned and hanging loosely on my arms, showing off my navy bra. He sits in front of me, dips a piece of cotton in alcohol, and lightly holds the side of my neck to keep me still. When the cotton touches the cuts, I wince. His eyes move to mine and stay there for a while before moving back to my shoulders. "Ow," I say again. He sighs as he looks at me again. Does he look worried? He says in a low voice, "If cleaning hurts you this much, God knows what you went through to get these in the first place." Voice that scares me. "Please tell me," he says, looking me in the eye. "No," I say. I want to tell him so he can beat Zeke, but I can't take the chance. He asks, "Is there something I can do?" and I look at the first aid box without saying anything. I don't believe so. He sighs and goes back to cleaning, which makes me wince over and over again and makes him look at me with concern over and over again. He puts some medicine on the cuts after he cleans them. I don't look down because I'm afraid I'll break down again. My voice is so weak, I say in a whisper. Austin says, rolling her eyes, that's coming from someone with more than 100 fresh cuts on her skin. More than 100. I laugh and cry at the same time. Yet, you're anything but weak, he says. I smile at him a little. We can understand each other without saying anything. Like he knows what I'm going through. Maybe. He might be able to help me out. Zeke wouldn't know that I told Austin, would he? But what if he did? What if he knows and sends the video to everyone at school? Austin asks, "What's going on in that pretty head of yours, Bunny?" as he sits next to me. I see that the first aid kit is missing. Bunny sounds cringe, Austin, I say with a laugh. Whatever, Bunny. I want to tell you, you know Austin? I do, I say as I lean against the headboard of his bed. He pulls me to him by my stomach and says, I know. His hands lightly touch my stomach skin. The little touch makes me shiver. I lean against his chest and let him mess with my hair. It feels strangely calming and soothing. I close my eyes and enjoy the warmth. I hear soft snores after a while. I sit up straight, take his hand off my stomach, and look behind me to see that Austin is sleeping soundly. His black hair is messy, which makes it look even better, and his lips are slightly open. I find him strangely interesting, but I don't know anything about him. Sky said that the school doesn't know anything either. Even when he sleeps, I smile a little when he frowns. I cover him up and stand up with a soft sigh. I stretch a little after buttoning my shirt and then write him a note. Same time tomorrow at the library. Thank you for everything, Austin. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.